俺がやらねばデビルの力を持つ者として和也は俺が殺す。
Namco. You've sort of written yourselves into a corner now, haven't you? I mean, Jin gaining mastery over the Devil Gene is a great story development, but how the heck is it going to work from a gameplay perspective? Unlike Devil Kazuya, Devil Jin isn't just a power-up, he has a totally different moveset based on Jin's old style from Tekken 3, so he can't just be a rage drive, can he? It's quite the predicament. Thankfully, I cosplayed as Devil Jin when I was 13, so I think I'm qualified to talk about game design for one of the biggest fighters in the world. Good morrow everyone, Silvershire here, and welcome back to Armchair Game Design, where I pretend to know more about making games than the people who make games. Today, I'm going to discuss the pros and cons of several potential approaches to including Devil Jin in Tekken 7, and determine which I think would be the best. So without any further ado, let's get into this. The first option is the simplest, just leave them as two separate characters. Even if they're canonically one and the same, there's no reason they can't take up two slots. Lee and Violet were separate characters in Tekken Tag Tournament 2, and Violet is literally just Lee with sunglasses and some hair dye. That doesn't mean you have to leave them exactly as they are, though. Devil Jin's intros, outros, and idle animation could be altered to reflect that Jin is more in control. But if Jin is in control, why would he be reverting to Mishima-style karate? It would make more sense if Jin used his devil powers to enhance his regular fighting style, like Kazuya does. Of course, they could simply handwave all this away by saying that Jin doesn't have full mastery over the Devil Gene, and that he still relapses into a mindless monster from time to time, but that kinda cheapens the impact. So that brings us to the second option. Have Jin's transformation work the same way as Kazuya's. He could use Rage to transform into Devil Jin, who would now just be a powered up version of Jin with flight and laser eyes and some other buffs instead of having a totally unique moveset. This is probably the most logical solution, as it means the Devil Gene's functionality would be consistent across both its users, but it would defeat the whole purpose of Devil Jin by once again removing Jin's classic moveset. Honestly, I think that would have been okay in Tekken 7, because there were 2.5 other Mishima-style characters to choose from, but I doubt that Heihachi or Kazumi will be in Tekken 8, so that would leave Kazuya as the only choice for those who want to play a Mishima. They could introduce a new character to replace Devil Jin, maybe a clone of Jin created by Ogre's alien overlords or something like that, but that just seems needlessly complicated. The happy medium between these two options would be to let Jin transform into Devil Jin, but retain Devil Jin's classic moveset. Since Devil Jin isn't strictly better than Jin, he could be allowed to transform at any time instead of just when he's on low health. This would open up the door to some really fun gameplay opportunities, like transforming mid-combo, but it would also allow players to stick to just one version if they'd prefer. Maybe there could even be an option on the character select screen to start as Devil Jin. There is sort of precedent for this, as Jin was able to transform into Devil Jin in Tekken Tag Tournament 2, though only if they were paired up and it was basically just a glorified tag animation. The only downside to this solution, other than that it would probably be really difficult to balance, is that it sort of leaves Kazuya in the dust. His control over the Devil Gene should be much stronger than Jin's, so it would suck if he transformed less often and underwent less of a change when he did. But who says Devil Kazuya still has to work that way? Because to be honest, Devil Kazuya is kind of boring in Tekken 7, what I would love to see is a rework to Devil that makes him his own unique character, rather than just a better Kazuya. In Tekken 7, Final Devil already has a few unique moves that could be included and expanded upon. Imagine a playable Devil who makes full use of his wings, tail, horns, and laser eyes. It could be super fun. Maybe he could even inherit a bunch of Heihachi's moves and therefore replace a Cop moveset, just like Devil Jin. From a gameplay perspective, I think that's the ideal solution, as it adds more depth to Jin, Devil Jin, and even Kazuya without removing anything from their existing kits. However, there is another option. It's one that would probably upset both the Jin mains and the Devil Jin mains, but I think it would make for a perfect conclusion to Jin's character arc. What if Jin and Devil Jin were the same character? No transformations or anything like that, just a single moveset that incorporates elements of both Jin and Devil Jin. The reason Jin changed his fighting style in the first place is rooted in deep emotional trauma. To quote his Tekken 4 prologue,
"Ever since his betrayal by Heihachi, Jin loathed anything related to the Mishimas. His lineage, his fighting style, the Devil Gene in his blood, everything. Thanks to the dojo master's training, Jin unlearned the Mishima Ryu fighting style and mastered the art of traditional karate."
But maybe, in Tekken 8, Jin can learn to accept these parts of himself and draw strength from them. After all, Mishima-style karate is not inherently hateful, though Kazuya and Heihachi use it to further a cycle of senseless violence. Jinpachi used it to better himself after a crisis of conscience regarding the Zaibatsu's weapons manufacturing during World War II. Just as Jin has tamed the devil, so too might he reclaim the Mishima name, not by shutting out his past, but by embracing it. They probably shouldn't do that, though. Can you imagine the backlash if they cut Jin and Devil Jin's move lists in half? Just stick to the transformation thing. So Namco, I hope I was able to steer you in the right direction. Oh, while I'm at it, bring back Moku Jin and make customization not suck. Thanks. But I'm not the only armchair expert around here, so all of my lovely viewers, how do you think Devil Jin should be implemented in Tekken 8? In the meantime, thank you so much for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and until next time, I bid thee farewell. So, I recorded this before EVO, so I figured I would make a quick addendum to talk about that Kazuya teaser. The big question is, was that for Tekken 8? And I'm kind of leaning towards no, because the actual title of Tekken 8 wouldn't be a big reveal. Of course, the next mainline Tekken will be called Tekken 8, so the fact that they're holding out on the title of this project makes me think it's something unexpected. That said, I don't think it's any of the main alternatives that people have been throwing out. A Tekken 1 remake would just be weird. I mean, Tekken 1 was super important for the franchise and for fighting games as a whole, but does anyone really want to play it in this day and age? The earliest Tekken I can realistically see them remaking is 3. Also, this character model is clearly a post-Tekken 2 Kazuya. Tekken Tag 3 is probably never happening because Tag 2 underperformed, but even if it does, it won't be so soon. And Tekken Cross Street Fighter is stuck in the deepest pits of development Tartarus. I don't care what Harada says, it's dead. So if this isn't Tekken 8, I think it's a new thing, like a Namco All-Stars or something like that. But who knows, maybe Harada just wants to confuse us. Anyway, back to the outro. Riot, 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 what have you gotten yourselves into? I mean, sure, you may have found success with your MOBA, and your auto battler, and your trading card game, and your K-pop band, and your Netflix original series, and wow, you guys make a lot of stuff. Today, we're looking at the man who single-handedly doubled my subscriber count, Kazuya Mishima. But before we begin our analysis,